Did you know that Africa possessed multiple fully developed writing systems, some centuries, others thousands of years, before European contact? The claim that Africa had no written language is not just wrong. It is one of the most damaging myths ever taught about an entire continent. If the true depth of African civilization and intellectual achievement matters to you, subscribe now, because this story doesn't just correct history. It restores truth that was deliberately buried. Here's a question that should unsettle everything you were taught. How do you erase the literacy of an entire continent from global memory? You don't destroy every script. You don't burn every manuscript. You simply stop teaching them. You dismiss them as insignificant. And you repeat a lie long enough that it becomes common knowledge. But Africa's scripts survived. They survived carved into stone, written on papyrus, copied onto wooden tablets, preserved in folded books, cave walls, and libraries guarded by communities who understood their value. Africa was never silent. Africa was writing. Let us begin where human writing itself may have first taken shape, in the Nile Valley of northeastern Africa. Around 3200 BCE, ancient Egypt developed hieroglyphic writing. Not borrowed, not imported, not learned from elsewhere. This was an African civilization independently, creating one of humanity's earliest and most sophisticated writing systems on African soil. Hieroglyphs were not crude pictures. They were complex, combining symbols, sounds, and meanings. Egyptian scribes recorded mathematics, medicine, astronomy, law, poetry, history, and philosophy. What survives today reveals a civilization that thought deeply, reasoned carefully, and documented its world with intention. But Egypt was not alone. South of Egypt, in the ancient kingdoms of Kush and Meroitic, modern-day Sudan, another African script emerged, Meroitic. Developed around the 3rd century BCE, Meroitic was alphabetic, representing sounds rather than images. It existed in monumental stone inscriptions and everyday cursive writing. Thousands of texts were produced. And here is something that should stop you cold. We're still working to fully understand this African language today. Not because it was simple, but because it was so independent, so uniquely African, that it requires its own interpretive framework. This is African civilization speaking in its own voice. Now move east to the Kingdom of Aksum in present-day Ethiopia and Eritrea. Here emerged Guizi, one of Africa's most enduring contributions to world literacy. Guizi is an abugida, a sophisticated system where symbols encode consonants and vowels together. Linguists recognize it as an advanced grammatical solution to written language. What makes Guizi extraordinary is this: it never died. For over 2,000 years, Ethiopian scholars have written, debated, translated, and recorded knowledge in Guizi. While much of Europe struggled through the medieval period, Ethiopian intellectual life flourished. Legal codes, historical chronicles, philosophical and theological works. These were not oral stories later written down. They were original African texts, written by African scholars for African societies. So ask yourself this uncomfortable question. Why are Guizi, Meroitic, and other African scripts almost entirely absent from global education? It is not because they lack importance. It is because history chose whose literacy mattered. Move west. In the forests of present-day Nigeria, the Nsibidi script developed among the Igbo and Efik peoples. Using symbols, lines, and geometric forms, Nsibidi encoded contracts, laws, social relationships, and messages long before European contact. This was a living writing system embedded in governance and daily life. Further west, in Liberia and Sierra Leone, the vice script was independently invented around 1830 by Mamadou Douala Bukele. With no colonial sponsorship and no foreign instruction, the script spread rapidly through the community, used for trade, letters, and record-keeping. It proved something undeniable. When Africans needed writing and had the freedom to create, it emerged. And in 1949, Guinean scholar Solomana Kante created Nkeo, a script perfectly suited to the Mande languages. He did so in direct response to the claim that Africans had no writing of their own. NKO is now used by millions because African literacy was never extinguished. It was suppressed. Even the famous Timbuktu manuscripts, though written largely in Arabic, represent African intellectual production. African scholars choosing a global academic language, just as Europe chose Latin. The ideas were African. The debates were African. The libraries were protected by African families at great personal risk. Look at the full picture. Hieroglyphs, Meroitic, Ge'ez, Nsibidi, Vi, Nkao, multiple scripts, multiple regions, multiple time periods, independent invention, again and again. This is not the story of a continent without writing. This is the story of a continent whose literacy was erased from memory, but not from history. What was lost when colonial systems dismissed these scripts is immeasurable. Generations were taught that their ancestors had nothing to write, when in fact they wrote extensively. But the truth is returning. Manuscripts are being digitized. Scripts are being taught again. African voices are reclaiming African words. So when you hear the claim that Africa had no writing before Europe, you now know better. Africa wrote early. Africa wrote widely. Africa wrote brilliantly. These scripts are not curiosities. They are proof of intellectual sovereignty. This is African history. This is African civilization speaking in its own words. Subscribe and follow for more African history and untold knowledge. Because restoring Africa's written legacy isn't just about the past. It's about returning dignity, truth, and voice to the present.